five-time world champions, a squad packed with absolute global superstars. Look, Brazil arrived at the 2026 World Cup fully expecting to lift the trophy, but well, they didn't account for the blonde-haired force of nature standing in their way. Erling Haaland didn't just beat Brazil, he completely broke them. In a historic 2-1 victory in the round of 16, Haaland scored twice in the final 11 minutes to send Norway into their first-ever World Cup quarterfinal. What was supposed to be a Brazilian coronation turned into a full-on Viking takeover. So how exactly did one man dismantle the most storied footballing nation on Earth? And why is the entire world suddenly terrified of Norway? In this explainer, we're going to break down the tactics, the wild numbers, and the undeniable cultural phenomenon that made this monumental upset possible. To really wrap your head around the magnitude of this upset, you got to look at the numbers. Haaland isn't just in good form right now. The guy is literally rewriting the laws of physics. Entering that Brazil match, he was already riding an unfathomable 14-game competitive scoring streak for his country. 14!
During this incredible run, Haaland netted a staggering 27 goals. And just look at the legendary names he's leaving in the dust. He zoomed right past Germany's Gerd Müller, who had a 12-match streak, and he completely eclipsed Cristiano Ronaldo's 7-match run. He is charting a course that international football has rarely, if ever, seen before. It's just wild.
And the sheer warp speed of his career is just mind-blowing. At just 25 years old, he reached 60 international goals in only 53 games. To put that into perspective, it took Kylian Mbappé 100 games to hit that milestone, and Lionel Messi 122. Haaland is averaging a ridiculous goal every 72 minutes. I mean, he's basically a machine operating at absolute, ruthless efficiency.
Section 1. A tactical masterclass.
This upset wasn't just a fluke. Norway manager Ståle Solbakken engineered a defensive blueprint that perfectly set the stage for this massive David vs. Goliath victory. On one side, you've got Brazil, right? They're relying on their technical dominance, creativity, and all those global superstars. On the other side, Norway. Solbakken knew that trying to outpossess Brazil would just be playing right into their hands. So instead, Norway leaned into their ruthless efficiency, physicality, and ironclad discipline. Knowing Brazil would want the ball, Norway intentionally surrendered it to absorb the pressure. Brazil ended up spending 35% of their in-possession time in unopposed buildup, while Norway spent 30% of their out-of-possession time sitting in a resolute, deep low block. They trusted their defense and relied on some absolute heroics from their goalkeeper, Erling Haaland, who crucially saved a Bruno Guimaraes penalty back in the 14th minute. Talk about a game-changer. Because of this deep defensive setup, Norway didn't have to use Haaland as a traditional striker. Nope. He was deployed more like an apex predator, just waiting to strike on the counterattack. And let's be real, when you're facing a player with Haaland's sheer physical dominance and blistering pace, playing a high defensive line, which Brazil actually attempted, is basically tactical suicide. Solbakken set his team up in a compact 4-4-1-1 formation, executing a brilliant three-step trap. Step 1, squeeze the space and funnel Brazil out wide. Step 2, aggressively win the ball back in those wide areas. And Step 3, strike lightning fast into the massive open spaces left behind by Brazil's advancing fullbacks. Every single time Norway won the ball, the instruction was dead simple: find the Viking. And that brings us to the final 11 minutes of the match, where the trap finally snapped shut. Solbakken made this genius double substitution at halftime, bringing on Andreas Schjelderup. And guess who provided the assists for both of Haaland's goals? Yep, Schjelderup. All game, Haaland waited patiently, just hunting for that single momentary lapse in concentration. Boom. 79th minute, a perfectly delivered cross lets Haaland tower right over Gabriel Magalhaes for a thumping header. Then, right at the 90th minute, a low pass across the goal sets up an unstoppable shot that literally froze time itself. 2 chances, 2 goals. Neymar did manage a penalty in stoppage time, but it was just a consolation. The Norwegian plan worked flawlessly.
Section 2. The Viking Row phenomenon.
Now, perhaps the most terrifying part of this Norwegian run isn't just the tactics, it's the belief. You've probably seen that massive rowing celebration by now. It feels like this ancient tradition passed down for centuries, but actually, it was created remarkably recently. In December 2025, a fan named Ole Frøystad came up with a chant inspired by Viking rowing to give the supporters a distinct identity. And the team loved it. Captain Martin Odegaard even said, "The day after, Ole and our capo both told me, this is going to be huge." They were right.
Man, they really were right. After the final whistle against Brazil, Haaland didn't just do a standard celebration.
He grabbed an actual drum and led the entire stadium in the Viking Row. 16 rhythmic beats echoing all across New York. Thousands of fans sitting down, rowing in perfect synchronization. What started as a fun little chant has completely morphed into a global power anthem. It's even spread to the Norwegian parliament and the royal family. It gives Norway this incredibly recognizable symbol of their return to the World Cup stage for the first time since 1998.
And while we're at it, let's look at the individual hardware on the line. Haaland currently sits on 7 goals for the tournament, tying him for the Golden Boot lead with none other than Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappé. By adding Brute to his jersey and bringing this awesome Viking spirit to life, he isn't just participating in this World Cup. Oh no, he is actively conquering it.
Section 3. The ultimate test awaits.
So, what's Norway's reward for pulling off this historic upset? A massive quarterfinal showdown in Miami. This is officially the deepest run Norway has ever made at a World Cup, but standing in their way is a heavily favored English squad packed with stars like Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane. The stakes have literally never been higher for Norwegian football.
The ultimate test awaits. So, what do you guys think? Can Erling Haaland's historic scoring streak continue and somehow carry Norway all the way to the final? Or will England finally put a stop to the Viking invasion? Let me know your score predictions in the comments below, smash that like button, and subscribe for our daily World Cup tactical breakdowns. See you at kickoff.